everyone ready?
Yep.
Where's Cass?
I don't know. She got taken away. Alright, the last session continued off in Crag Maw Hideout, which is what this is called, but I don't think you knew that. So, we continued in this cave full of goblins and water and rocks. And you all decided to venture deeper into the cave full of goblins, water, and rocks, and you found even more goblins and rocks. Not more water, though. But you also did discover an old man that you're familiar with, who seemed in very poor condition. So you managed to fight off the goblins, killing just about all of them, it looks like. And you freed the man and gave him a healing potion, it looks like. But in your endeavors, Elar went missing. Not exactly sure what happened to him, but he doesn't seem to have reappeared. Now you're all outside the cave with your rescuee in tow. Not exactly sure where you're headed now or what you're doing, which brings
Are we
up
outside? Oh yeah, we are.
which
Sorry.
brings up a good point. What are you guys doing now?
Probably trying to return to town for that one guy. For the guy that's following us.
Well, what about our missing companion? He might not be dead. We didn't find a body.
Was there any other place in the cave that we didn't search?
I don't know. I mean, everybody in there's dead. It would be easy enough to go back and have a peek. Just gotta steer clear of the dogs on our way in and then throw them another body.
I can look over Sildar if you two want to take a peek. Because once we leave here, if Elar is here, I doubt we'll ever see him again.
Works for me.
Okay. Alright.
Alright, so Vimak and Thalai head back into the cave as Sildar gets comfy. He leans against the like a tree over here, and yeah, you guys are looking. You go through the entire cave, see the dogs still. Well, they're right now they're napping after getting their full of goblin meat.
Can I like my limited perception or like would it be like survival or perception? Could I try to see if I pick up any trails that look like it might have been someone not like you know what I'm trying to say, but my brain isn't working?
No, are you trying to look for Elar trails? Is that what?
Yeah. See, you knew.
All right, go ahead and roll either perception or survival. Maybe even investigation. One of those three.
Hey, are you good at investigating or any of those things? Which one are you best at? And would you help me?
Is that investigating or...
Or perception or survival?
Definitely not survival. Definitely not perception.
I'm hearing from you is you can't help me.
I would actually hinder you if I attempted to help.
Alright. I'm on my own, all by myself. Alright, oh, they're all as good as any other.
We'll come back to you. Outside over here, Sildar and Wes. Like I said, Sildar is relaxing, sitting down on the ground, leaning his back against a small tree. What are you doing, Wes?
I'm just kind of in the, I guess, being a watch out, just making sure that if anything comes towards the cave, that I'm aware of it. Because Soldar, I believe, is weak to where he's just trying to recover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to bother him. I just want him to rest up as best he can so that he can start to get his own mobility on his own back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You do that. And you notice how Sildar, he closes his eyes and kind of bows his head down, taking in the moment of peace. Alright, so back in the cave, you rolled a natural 1, equaling 3 altogether. As you're looking around for any signs of Elar,
Man, am I gonna get pushed out by the current again?
No, you're looking around and suddenly you slip on a slippery rock and hit your head on the ground.
For how much damage, sir?
No, dude. But you don't see any tracks.
I don't see anything. Vimak, you want to take a look to see if you're any luckier than I am?
Sure. I will attempt to see if I see her or any tracks that were left behind.
Okay.
Survival, perception, or investigation? I don't see investigation. Oh, because I'm not in the right section.
Looking around, you don't notice any. Well, you do notice like human-sized tracks, but you assume it was made when you all first made your way into the cave. But you do notice an unusual set of markings, as if a body was being dragged out of the cave.
Alrighty. This track over here looks like they dragged him out.
Well, let's follow the drag marks.
Right, you do that, and as you follow it, it leads into the stream and doesn't seem to reappear.
You went this way. After that, we don't know.
Yeah, Wes, you see them coming out of the cave. And Thalai shouts.
So it sounds like we don't need to stick around here anymore, do we?
Nope, doesn't appear
Can we
he's
follow
here.
the stream on the way?
Sure.
Okay. Cool. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'm ready to go whenever you guys are.
Cool. I need you to move my token for a second if we move. Ah, I'm caught on a doorknob.
Alright, with that, Sildar, he slowly gets up. And where are you guys going?
Following the stream back south.
Okay. So you gather your belongings and start following the stream south. After about 10 minutes walk, the stream kind of dies out. Like it doesn't turn into like a bigger river, and it kind of trickles down into like a little pond of some kind. And if one person wants to make a perception, survival, or investigation check, that'd be nice.
But if Wes, you
Okay.
seem like you might be really good at those things because you're awfully good at everything.
I think we're all about the same at those things. It was Gil. It was survival, perception, and investigation.
Yeah, or investigation. Whichever one you feel you'll do better.
Okay. I'm very mediocre at all of those things, so if
Are you
any
proficient?
of you... No.
Okay. Then we're all the same. We're
Yeah.
all the same.
So then it's just whoever
Maybe,
feels lucky.
I mean,
I'm below par
I guess
on those
I'll
things.
do it because I'm a jack of all. I'll do it. Which one? Because I'm a jack of all trades, yo. It's like part of my bard
Okay.
life. I get a little help because of my bard self. Well, investigation seemed to be okay for us, so we'll do investigation.
You do notice, like to the east of the stream, the tracks, like the tracks seem to pick up again. You see signs of a body being dragged, and alongside it, you notice several other footprints. One set being really small, as if belonging to a small creature, and the others belonging to maybe either a medium-sized or larger creature. And there are several of them. And I'd say with your roll, you can make out at least, including the small set of footprints, 6 sets. And if
I
you
say all
follow,
of that.
and if you follow the where they're going, you notice that the body is no longer, like the drag marks no longer appear, and now it's just a bunch of footprints kind of condensed together.
They're either carrying her or him, or they've eaten him.
With your investigation, you don't see any signs of blood.
Alright, so they're probably carrying him, unless they're just very neat eaters.
And you don't see any signs of a fire nearby.
Yeah.
The tracks seem relatively fresh, as if the prints seem kind of fresh, as if they've only been here within the past hour, maybe.
I say all of that because these are pretty fresh. Like it's only been an hour. Is it dark outside? Are we outside?
It's about 4 p.m. now.
Okay, there just seems to be like the way that the light is hitting the map on. I don't know.
Don't worry about the map.
All right.
We're not here in this location.
I'm not worried about the map. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to follow, see if we can recover
Yeah, let's follow it.
recover him? Or what do you want to do?
I say we follow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think given it sounds like they might have been here recently, this is our best chance of finding Elar.
We should
Um,
probably be as sneaky as possible, because we're really outnumbered if we don't be really sneaky about it.
that's a good point. Sildar, do you have a weapon?
Unfortunately, they've taken all of my belongings. And you notice he's still in his small clothes, no armor.
So we should probably find a place to hide him, because he's not going to be much help. Just find a safe spot for him to hide out until we come back, and if we don't come back in if we don't come back in a couple of hours, then you should try to stealthily make your way back to Phandelver.
But then we'd just be weaker going in if we did run into trouble.
I mean, he's on death's door. If he gets hit once, he's probably dying.
At that comment, you notice he makes a face as if that's not possible. Like he's offended by it.
I'm sorry, do you feel differently? By the way, he should still like me, even if I'm being a poop.
He pauses for a moment before he says anything. Then his face relaxes, and it's like he realizes he's in no shape to fight or travel. He looks at himself, and he says that. He says, "You're right. I don't think I'm in any shape to fight or travel."
Like, maybe if maybe if circumstances before meeting you were different, that would be a different story. But you had a rough go of it, man, but you're a survivor. That's how I know if we hide you out here, you're gonna survive. Be great.
And maybe if I head back to that cave and rest there and tend to my wound, it should be
There you
safe,
go.
yeah?
We know everything. Yeah, because everything's dead over there anyway.
Alright, Sildar. But I'm gonna be honest with you. It's sounding like you're gonna have a rough time either way. Could you tell us anything of use about what happened to you? Maybe where you think you might have been before, where we might find Gundren, Elar. That way, in case we go on a bit more of an adventure trying to find them, we have that info.
You haven't seen Gundren?
Not since we met back at the tavern. There's been clues here and there. People have mentioned perhaps he was taken or didn't show up when people expected him, but no.
Well, we were traveling on the Tribor Trail when we got jumped by these goblins. It was a surprise attack, and I soon found myself incapacitated. After that, I'm not sure what happened to Gundren. I woke up in that cave. Weird that they took me alive. Usually they would just kill their marks and take all of their belongings. But if I'm alive, that must mean Gundren might be too. Now Gundren, he might not want me to tell you this, but he and his brothers, they recently located an entrance to the long-lost Wave Echo Cave. If you're not familiar, it was the site of the mines of the Phandelver's pack. Are you familiar with that? You are not.
Okay. I figured that's where it's going.
Looking at the inquisitive look on your face, he says, "Well, over 500 years ago, a pact was made between a clan of gnomes and dwarves, which became known as the Phandelver Pact. Together, they mined the magically rich ores within Wave Echo Cave. Human spellcasters from nearby Phandalin, which at the time was a very prosperous town, they joined forces. Excuse me, young lady, stop rolling. I'm trying to explain this story. Anyway, the human spellcasters from Phandalin, they joined forces with these gnomes and dwarves, and together they combined their collective skills to create a forge to craft magical items, and thus this forge was known as the Forge of Spells. Everything came to an abrupt end when orcs, craving magical treasures, sieged Phandalin and the Wave Echo Cave. The battle destroyed Phandalin, and much of the mine as well, causing various cave-ins throughout. Very few survived the conflict to relate the tale, and thus the Forge of Spells became legend, and the entrance to Wave Echo Cave was lost. But for somehow, Gundren and his brothers, they found clues and a map of some kind leading to Wave Echo Cave, which is which is why he had that wagon load of provisions brought from Neverwinter, because they were gonna explore this cave and they were gonna spend weeks there probably. But I guess they might have caught the eye of some kind of nefarious villain. I assume this is why we were ransacked by goblins and kept alive. And with that, he ponders what could have happened to Gundren. He looks to you all and says, "And there were no signs of Gundren in the cave?"
Nope.
I see.
Yeah, I don't remember anything either. I don't.
Did you happen to see a map case or a map within the cave? It would have his initials on it.
I don't think we found anything in the cave, but we
found
might
the
have.
dazzled froggy.
Yeah, I think we might have found that a while back at the place you might have been ambushed with some dead horses, though.
Yes, we did find a map case where the horses were ambushed. You are, but it was empty.
Yeah, I think I gave it to Elar too.
I see.
Hashtag good notes. We're good memes.
Well, if the map is nowhere to be seen and Gundren is nowhere to be seen, it seems darker workings are afoot. He pauses and thinks for a moment, then he looks up at you. Would you be willing to find Gundren in his map for me?
What's in it for us?
Unfortunately, I personally have nothing I can pay you.
Oh, well, there we go. Well, there's our original motivation, because we haven't gotten paid for the original delivery.
But you all seem like a hardy lot. And it seems like you might want riches. He looks around at the three of you. If you help Gundren find this Forge of Spells, it could be very lucrative for you.
What do you think, Thalai? Is this still all worth it?
I mean, I'm less concerned about Gundren and more concerned about Elar. Because, but I'll leave it up to what the consensus wants to do. If the consensus wants to save Elar, I will save Elar. If the consensus is like, screw this, been tough enough, then I will let it go.
Well, if we're on the trail for Elar, so we can continue that, because at least we have something of some kind of proof of where he is or where he's headed.
Whether he's alive, we don't know. But maybe. He does have a healing potion on him, and that is worth 50 gold.
Well, that's worth it just for that.
Well, there we go. We've answered our question. It's not a matter of Elar, it's about recovering a lost healing potion, and Elar is a bonus. Alright.
Alright. Sildar, we're going. We're gonna go find Elar. One of the people who was helping us with finding Gundren. I'm sure we'll find more out about Gundren as we travel to save Elar. I'd hope you at some point can recover and perhaps help us, because you seem pretty capable, and if they're able to take you hostage and bang you up pretty good, then we could use any help we can get.
Very well. I shall tend to my wounds within the cave. But if you come back and do not find me there, assume I have traveled to Phandelver.
Alright. I'm ready to go.
Alright, Sildar starts heading back to the cave. And you guys pick up on the trail again and start following it. After about 5 miles, someone give me another investigation, perception, or a doohickey. Perception, investigation, or survival. Bloop.
Oh, wait. One.
Okay. No.
Oh, poop.
You intimidate the crap out of the tracks so much that they pick up and leave, and you don't see any signs of them. No, I'm kidding. You do see the tracks. Do you continue to follow?
Hold on. My computer's trying to restart, and I'm trying to tell it not to.
Okay. But you do see signs of tracks. Do you continue to follow them?
I vote yes.
Sure. We're gonna go off on a bunny trip.
Okay.
Because I rolled a nat 1, which means I failed, which means these can't be a track. But here we go.
And you start heading. Someone roll me a d6. Start heading this way.
Oh, oops. I was slow.
Too slow. And you see off on the horizon a setting sun, but also seems to be a body of some kind in the distance.
Like a body that's alive or a body that's on the ground?
You're about a
Body that's
good.
moving our way.
No, it's on the ground. It seems to be a good 100 yards away.
Okay. We should go look at the body and loot it.
Is
Oh,
it just
maybe
like
it's Elar.
in an open field?
Yeah, there are some trees sprinkled about, but besides that, it's an open field.
That is a very Elar thing to do. Well, I think we can look at the body, but since this area's got a lot of goblins and they seem to be very tricky, maybe one of us should look at it while the others keep watch or prepare for whatever may happen.
I'll go look. I can slough off the first attack.
Okay.
Okay.
I've yet to use Stone's Endurance, and I'm gonna use it today.
So Thalai is the only one approaching it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Give me a second. As you approach...
What?
Give me a second.
You're a robot, and you're far enough away. I can't hear you. Hold on. Let me pop out an earbud so I can hear you in real life.
Hold on, give me a second to set this up. Alright, as you approach the body on the ground, you notice it seems to be a mound of something, like as if it's in a blanket of some kind, maybe. Can't really tell from this distance. You're about 50 yards away now.
Okay. I keep going. Carefully.
Alright, you
Cautiously.
approach.
Can I check for traps?
Go ahead and roll perception for traps. You look around to see if there are any traps, and you don't see any signs of like unnaturally disturbed ground or a place where a trap can be set without being like obvious.
Okay. You keep going.
Alright, you keep going, and you're about 25 yards away now, and you notice it's a big mound of fur, like a fur blanket of some kind.
Was it a big beastie?
With the sun behind it, all you see is a silhouette, but you can tell it's furry.
I go back the way I came.
Okay, you do that. You you go back to Vimak and West.
That's not lootable. It's got too much fur.
It's an animal?
Yeet. And I would totally try to like be friends with it, but I'm out of spells until we take a long rest. Until I get some shut eyes.
Are we following a trail still, Gil? Or
Yeah, you notice the trail leads up to
the animal? Oh,
the thing on the ground.
okay.
It might be that we followed the wrong track and we should go back the way we came. But if you guys want to go take a look, be my guest.
And you said you can tame the animal if you had time to rest?
Right, but like it would have to be like a long rest. Like it couldn't be a short.
Let's see. I was thinking perhaps having an animal that might be able to help us track, but that sounds like it'd be too long.
Well, and it's animal friendship, which doesn't mean the animal's going to listen to me. It just means they'll be friendly, not eat me.
Oh,
If they're dumb enough. If they're smart, we're screwed.
okay. Well, if This doesn't seem like the right track. We're just losing time to where we would have to backtrack.
We should go back the way we came and try again.
Okay. Is that alright with you, Vimak?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Somebody else can investigate this time and see if they have any better luck than I.
All right. You travel back 5 miles in the way that you came, and another 2 hours have passed. Right now it's about 8 p.m. in the evening. The sun has set. It is dark out.
Works in our advantage. We can be sneakier if it's darker.
So if we're trying to look for the trail again, would we roll again, Gil, or?
Yeah, investigation, perception, or survival.
Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and try this time.
Some time has passed since you were on the trail that was fresh. You look around and see faint hints of what could be the tracks that you were looking for, that you were following before, but you're not 100% sure.
No, it doesn't look like I have any clear path that I can see. We know we came from that direction, and then we also came from that direction. But
I mean, I
that's
can
still...
give it another try. See what happens. Or, Vimak, do you wanna try it, or?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot, see what I can see.
Okay. Working with what you got, you notice the same tracks that Wes pointed out. All of you see the same tracks.
Alright guys, here's
With your combined amount of investigation and perception, you notice it's multiple tracks. And it looks like it's headed north.
Do we want to try north?
Well, it's our best bet. Otherwise, seems like we're just going to be guessing, and at that point, are we really searching effectively?
No, we're just rolling dice and going where they tell us.
Looks like we're going north then.
Okay. You travel about 5 miles north. Another 2 hours have passed, and in the now you can see like the edge of the forest here. And you notice a campfire of some kind at the edge of the forest.
It would just be a campfire with, say, the light is what I see, or I can see that
Yeah, you
it's
see
only
the
a
light.
campfire. Oh, okay.
And you can make out silhouettes of like a tent, maybe.
And it's pretty dark at this point. We're getting dark.
Yeah, it's dark. It's about 10 p.m. now.
Well, I think we should try to look at the camp at least, whether we think it's someone who can help us or an enemy, I'm not sure, but it's pretty late out here and they might have information, or at least more of possibility for it to be one of the people who took Elar.
Yep, let's sneak up there.
Yep, sneaking we do.
Okay, go ahead and roll stealth as you approach the tent.
We all do.
If you want to sneak up there, yeah.
These
Would
are
it,
my rolls today.
would that be like trying to get close enough to the tent where you're like basically at the campfire, or is that like even say 100 yards out?
Depends on what you're
How
trying to
close?
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I want to try to get within 30 yards.
Okay.
Stuff.
We all suck.
All right.
The person in heavy armor did better than us.
That is true. As you approach, you notice there are actually 2 tents and a fire. You don't see any signs of that.
That kind of looks like a weird penis. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it. I'm tired and things are just coming out of my mouth.
Okay. And the fire is about right. And west, you approach and make it about 30 feet. And since you didn't specify the distance, I'm just going to assume you're flanking one.
Yeet.
But one of you steps on a branch and it breaks under your foot, and suddenly you hear a gruff voice in a language you cannot understand. And a head pops up from behind the tent. And it looks to be an orc. And it sees you three. What do you do?
Smile and a wave.
Okay.
Hello there. We're just looking for a friend of ours that we got separated from.
With that, the orc, you can't really tell his expression on his face, but he takes out a giant great axe and yells really loudly.
Guys, you have to do better at this walking quietly thing.
Just thinking that I got 2 Goliaths with me.
That's true.
Why do we ever try stuff?
Okay, everyone go ahead and give me initiative. Alright. Wes, you're up first. You have this orc about 30 yards or 30 feet away. It has its great axe above its head and it's yelling.
Where is it? I don't see it on the screen. Oh, I needed to go up.
And from what I can tell, there's a campfire that is a circle, the 2 tents,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're kind of surrounded by, say, maybe trees here and there.
Mm-hmm.
This is all we have so far. Okay. Take it none of you can understand Orc, and doesn't look like he's too friendly.
I don't understand orc. Like if we just are chill, and we just like are non-violent-y looking. I mean, I don't look violent at all. I'm like the epitome of non-violent. Maybe.
Are you suggesting
Vimak,
that you want
maybe
to
not
call
so
him down?
We could see. Let's see how persuasive I can be at using soothing tones and calming him down when it's my turn to go.
Okay. I'm looking at my stuff real quick, seeing what I can do.
Okay.
Vimak, can you see well?
Can I see well?
Yeah, do you need me to give you a light?
Oh,
No.
it's dark.
I have a torch.
Burning this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
The forever torch.
Okay, well, I will at least move.
Isn't there a light from the fire, Gil?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm about to get you your torch back.
Alright, I'm gonna prepare in case he attacks. I'll see what you guys do, and if it looks like either you attack or he attacks one of you or comes at me, I'll go ahead and hit him with a blast. So I'm just gonna prepare Eldritch Blast if they attack or he attacks. I'll cast
Okay.
it. And
Alright.
that will be my turn.
Gotcha. Next up, this orc with its great axe held above its head. It charges. And then it gets to here and screams really loudly. "Oh, Lokdar, blah 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 for the horde." And it charges at Vimak and swings its great axe at your face. But you block it with your stupid shield. And then another orc comes out of the tent over here. And it also yells really loudly. It charges Vimak. Oh, did you want to use your Eldritch Blast on this one?
Yeah, I'll cast it on this first one.
Okay. And it hits. And this one charged at Vimak also with its great axe. It swings, it crits, it hits you for 20. Go ahead.
Alright.
and you block, or you endure 10 of it.
Is that
So you
plus
only take-
Constitution, right? Which would be 13
Oh, yeah.
total. So I take 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, Thalai, what do? You just see these orcs with these giant great axes hurl themselves at Vimak.
I get out Thorn, and I.
Or, you mean Talon?
This one's right here. Talon, yeah, sorry. I get out. I was in the wrong. Oh no, Needle was the name of it. See, I'm wrong even when I'm making a thing. And with both hands, I think this is the both hands one. I go stabby at the one nearest me.
Yeah, you hit it for 4.
And as a bonus action, I think, can I do dancing lights to give us more light?
Yeah. Where do you want them to? Hold on, let me make one you can control, so I don't have.
You know, that looks good for the moment. I like your placement, sir. I can see Beator.
Okay. Okay, is that your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Vimak, what do? You just got hit by this great axe.
So the one that's right in front of me, I'm gonna hit him with my torch in hand. Or swing at him with my torch in hand.
Okay. That hits. 1d4.
A 1d4.
Five plus 1 fire damage.
To drop
So you swing your torch at him.
To drop the torch and take out my longsword, is that an action?
No, it's a free action.
Okay. Because I wanted to do an action surge. Can I attack again using action surge?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to drop the torch, take out my sword, and action surge for another attack.
Okay, go ahead. So you take your torch, you swing into his face, it hits, and his eyes are scorched. And after your swing, you drop your torch, take out your longsword, and in one fell swoop, you slice him in the gut, and he slumps over dead. And he goes, zug, zug. Bleh.
And picking up, or looting, that's an action, right? If I wanted to take his thing? Okay. So that'll just end
Wait, what? You wanted to pick up the great axe?
Yeah.
You can do that next turn, because you use your free action to draw your longsword.
Okay. So that'll end my turn.
Okay. Top of the round.
The tents, are they like made out of any material in particular? Like, say, maybe twigs and stuff, or like branches?
Looks like animal hides.
Okay.
With some wood to keep it upright.
How do I delete? I don't want to draw. I want to do the measuring.
Oh,
And I'll cast another Eldritch Blast at this one.
Okay. You let loose an Eldritch Blast, but it misses.
That was a good one, Gil.
It was a very good.
Alright, my turn.
Oh, whoops. Alright, the orc's turn. It, not phase that you brought down, its fellow next to him. Takes his great axe, does some spins with it, and then swings it at Vimak, dealing 9 points of damage. And then Thalai, it's your turn. What do you do?
Right. I'm gonna take another thwack at him. I stab myself. 7
Oh.
points of damage.
No, I'm just gonna say you swing and lose grip, and it goes flying at Wes. No. Oh wait, how far are you, Wes? Yeah, it goes flying at Wes, and it lands. Whoops, right there where that square is.
Okay. As a free action, can I grab my other longsword?
Yes.
I grab my other longsword.
Okay. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
All right, Vimek.
Alright.
What do you
good
do?
reload? Good reload.
I'm gonna cast Second Wind.
Okay.
Is it just 5 or is it added to something? Plus your fighter level.
Yeah.
So 7?
Yeah.
Alright. Then I'm gonna reach over and attack the other orc. Or ogre. Or whatever they are.
You swing at it with your longsword and get past its defenses and hit it for 5.
That'll end my turn.
Wes, what do you do?
Cast another Eldritch Blast.
Okay. And again, you miss.
And I passed my turn.
Okay. This orc's turn. You're getting hit by your longsword.
This guy's really good, guys.
It takes his great axe and he starts doing like a whirlwind motion and he's spinning, spinning, spinning. And he loses his grip on it. And it flies this way. And lands right here. Great. Now on the ground.
Everybody's having a bad day.
That he moves away. You guys can use your reactions to do an opportunity attack if you want.
Sure.
Alright, go ahead and bid you first.
Do I just attack?
Yeah. Oh,
I think
With
I
this-
got it.
with his back towards you, you see a opening, and you stab him right in the side of his arm, and he. And with that, there doesn't seem to be any other orcs around, as far as you can tell. Yeah, what do you guys do?
And every time we try to be nice, it's like the world just says no.
Well, I need to go get my sword. So I'm gonna go over here and put away my other sword and grab this one. And I'm just gonna keep it out at the ready. Ooh, there's an interesting thing coming on the screen.
No, well, now that you're close to their tents, you can see there are like flags draped around, like draped on their tent.
Alright, I'm gonna go search this tent.
Okay, you go in the tent after picking up your sword, and you see inside this tent, like sacks of provisions, a sack of provisions, and javelins, and a bedroll.
Right. What about the other tent?
Same thing.
I figured. Let's check. Alright.
And what are you two doing out here?
I just picked up a great axe.
Okay, you have a great axe.
Mm-hmm.
Not just an okay axe, but a great axe.
It's not just good; it's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll search the bodies in case there's any info about Elar, Gundren, Goblins, stuff like that.
Searching the bodies, you do notice a map of the area.
I will take the map.
Okay.
With the map, it's kind of like the map that we see when we do the traveling. Is it like that? Oh, detail. Okay.
So next time you see that map, you'll probably notice like areas that are.
Nice.
And you also notice they are wearing hide armor. And looks like some rags that they call clothes.
I'll pass. I'll just go back towards the campfire.
Okay.
I'm getting pretty exhausted with all this traveling and fighting. This seems like probably a good area to take a rest, if not stay here and get a good sleep. I don't know if we're really going to have much luck at night following a trail, and especially if this is where we were led.
Yeah, I second that.
Right. We're gonna have to keep lookout though, because there might be more people that come.
If you go ahead.
I'm gonna put my hunting trap down at the entrance of a tent after I get inside, before I forget.
Maybe we should all be in the same tent, and then if something happens, we're all protected by the hunter's trap that's nearest who's ever there.
That'll work.
Is there enough room for 2 Goliaths and a person?
It's very tight. But I guess you can make it work.
Like if they were like up and down, there would be 4 4 little things.
I will go ahead and stay in the other tent. I'll take my chances.
Would there be 4 little things?
You gotta center it. Okay, there'd be like 3. Fine.
Okay,
There's
so
only 3 of us, so.
so Wes goes in the other tent. And this one has a hunt trap. Okay, so you guys are currently taking a long rest.
And Gil, would I be able to use disguise self to look like the orc that we ran into?
Yeah.
I'll cast my mask of many faces to rest looking like an orc. Is that possible?
Disguise self-concentration. If it is, I'm gonna say no. You cannot, because you're
Okay.
sleeping and cannot.
I'll just sleep
But-
then, regular.
Let me look it up. And also, for defeating the orcs, you guys get 60 experience. Does that push you to 900?
No.
No, it puts us to 805.
Oh, okay.
But I now
Okay,
have
disguise
that.
self isn't a concentration spell, but it only lasts 1 hour.
Okay, so it wouldn't work out then.
For the first hour, you'd be disguised.
I'll just go to sleep regular.
Okay. Alright, so after this long rest, you guys are now. You regain your health. You regain half your level in hit dice. You regain any abilities and spell slots that you regain over a long rest.
Or not. Sorry, he's meowing at me piteously.
You hear a voice outside say, "What are these dead orcs doing out here on this field?" No, I'm kidding. You don't. But the night passes by uneventfully.
That was my level 3.
And it's a new day. It's around 8 in the morning.
I gotta adjust my sheet.
And Wes, noticing on the map, you see towards the east a marked location, but also nearby another marked location. It looks like they drew. There's a crude drawing of a castle over here. Here, I'll do the crude in blood.
Would that be like what the black square kind of is representing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And to the east, you see a crude drawing of kind of like a flag that's draped around their tent.
Man. It's a pretty dangerous trail. No wonder why Gundry didn't want to do it.
Yeah, carrying all those provisions, it's like putting a giant target on your back.
Yeah. Okay, so those were the 2 things you said on the map, right?
Yeah.
I'll share it with the others, what the map shows. It looks like maybe we have a new possible thing to investigate this castle. It's a bit of a guess that it would end up being where Elar or anyone else would be, but unless either of you have more ideas of where we can look, that seems like our...
I think that's the best bet. We should head there. It doesn't seem very far.
Alright. I'm ready to go.
Same. I picked up the other great axe too. So now I got two.
Okay. You have 2 great axes now. Just slung on your back, along with your sword, shield. Oh. What else do you have?
I got a long... No, that's it. And then my hunting trap. I got a bedroll, a sack, some rations, and a malachite gem.
Okay. So you guys start making your way towards marked location on the map. You enter the forest. And after 4 hours of walking, you see Flavor Town.
Say Flavor Town?
That's what I heard.
Flavor Town! You see Guy Fiery about to get a flavor.
Guy Fiery?
Yeah.
You're silly.
He's a dwarf with very fiery-like hair. He's a Duragar.
Bleached.
No, it's fire. It's a literal fire. Meow, what do you want? So after traveling in the forest, you see a castle, or what remains to be a castle. It consists of 7 crumbling towers of different sizes and heights, but the upper stories are all in varying states of collapse. You see a short flight of steps leading up to a terrace, which you assume is the front of the main entryway. And past a wreckage of a pair of sundered doors, you see a shadowed hall. Round towers loom over the entranceway, with dark arrow sights looking down on the terrace. Looks like you see the front of the dilapidated castle.
No signs of camps or light sources or anything like that, though.
Light sources, no, but it is daylight out. So, if there were any inside, they wouldn't be super visible or super noticeable.
West will say to the others, I don't think stealth has been working out for us, so I don't know how we're going to approach this castle. It seems like we can
Just gonna come
still...
with guns blazing and yelling.
I think that might be what we have to prepare for. We did
Maybe
take
we
it.
can intimidate them into shock if we do this.
That seems possible. And perhaps another strategy is we don't all have to be the ones they see. If we can't all be stealthy, maybe one of us can
Well, we
kind of
can-
serve as a distraction.
Or why don't Vimak and I are pretty intimidating. Maybe if like Vimak and I go like guns blazing, like just looking like crazy people storming the castle. Maybe you can get on the side to like Eldritch Blast snipe people that come out, or sneak, because you seem to be better possibly at sneaking maybe than we are.
Okay, sure. I'll
Not
keep
sure
my
though. Let me
distance.
double check. What we did earlier. I'm actually not too bad at sneaking. Not 3. Oh no. Oh, you're not good at stealthing. I'm the best at stealthing. How did that come about?
Die rolls.
Die rolls. Because technically, Vimak always has disadvantage because he has heavy armor, so he's gonna make noise. I can sneak. I don't know. What do you guys want to do? I'm game for anything. Let's go crazy.
I'm just gonna walk up.
Alright, and I'll keep my distance, like if we're thinking of the game board, like say 40 feet from Vimak back.
Okay.
Alright, Vimak, lead the way.
Alright, I head up into it.
All right. And what is Thalai doing?
I guess the light is going up too, but I'm gonna look as intimidating and big as I can.
Okay. So you're right with Vimac. Do a map change. Eventually.
Would have been better at stealthing. We're not gonna go to my strengths. Gonna be crazy.
Alright, Vimac. Everyone's over here. Corner, left side. And Vimac, you approach the stairway up here.
I'm gonna head up the stairs.
Alright, you head up the stairs. And as soon as you step onto like this platform here, arrows start getting fired at you from the north arrow slit. And roll for arrows. One crits and hits you for 10 points of damage. Alright. Do the thing. So you block 6, and you take only 4. Do you continue forward?
Are we in combat at this point?
No. Just tell me what you want to do, though.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try.
Oh, Thalai and Wes, you saw some arrows. Good.
I would want to try to run through this way.
All right, give me a dex save as you're dodging arrows.
A dex saving throw?
Yes. All right. After getting hit by one of the arrows, you sprint your way towards the doorway in what you presume is safety. The Lion West, you see this as an arrow is shot towards the Lie's direction and hits you for 8 piercing damage.
I'm going to use my stony endurance, and it only hits me for 4.
Well, roll your stony endurance.
Oh wait, sorry, I got it confused with being a bard. Not a bard. The other B word.
A d12 plus your Constitution modifier. Dang, what's Wes gonna do? Is he gonna stony endurance do this too?
No.
You can focus on your damage reaction. D12. Add your what's my Constitution modifier?
Next to your Constitution.
D12 plus.
But yeah, Vimak, he sprinted, and then he leapt towards the doorway here, and then he tucked his shoulder in and rolled to safety.
So I take no damage.
Okay.
So I think where I'm at with the map, I can't see on the map, but I imagine where I'm pinging is the direction of the arrows, like that towards us. Or
Oh yeah. I'll just move.
because I like to kind of take cover.
Okay,
Or-
so you can. Where are you gonna take cover?
Okay, I see. So it's like arrows there, right?
Yeah.
That's, okay. And then this looks like how high would this be? Like,
About 5 feet.
5 feet. Yeah, I'll run towards that and try to take cover.
Okay. And you crouch down, take cover. Thalai, you got hit by an arrow, but it just bounces off your stony skin. What are you doing now?
I see that West is hidden. I'm gonna go ahead and try to duck and cover over here as well.
Okay, you do that. So West and Thalai, you're hiding using the terrace as cover.
Mm-hmm.
And Vimak, you have made your way to the door, which is it's broken and sundered. But you are now inside this dilapidated castle.
Mm-hmm.
Here you see, if you were to like peer around the corner, you can see doors on the north and south, and you see a crumbling mound of rubble partially obscuring the southern hall. And to the east, you see a broad corridor which ends in two more doors leading east and south.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, the corridor is cluttered with dusty rubble and fallen plaster from a partially collapsed ceiling overhead.
Okay. So there's a door to the north, right?
Yeah.
So I want to like ready my sword and shield and charge the door to try to bust through it.
Okay. You do that, and you notice there are actually two doors.
Oh, then the one left one.
Okay. Alright. So you bust through it now?
I do.
Do you?
That's my attempt.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check. And you manage to bust through the door, revealing a looks like an archer's post. This small room is littered with debris, and the arrow slit opposite the door offers a fine field of fire over the terrace in front of the castle gates. In here are two goblins with bows and arrows. And at this point, while that's happening, Wes and Thalai, what are you guys doing?
So we would have seen Vimak charge in, or I guess it's kind of hard to see it, but we would have maybe heard it.
Yeah, if you're taking glances in that direction to see if arrows are still firing at you guys, you would see Vimak like make his way deeper into the hall.
Are we still getting shot at?
There was an arrow that fired in your direction, but you hear a loud crash echo through the hall, and at that moment, You don't see any more arrows.
Why, it sounds like Vimak might have just charged in.
Sounds like he gave us our distraction. We should run it.
Well, alright, I'll run in and
Oh, what are you
hope there's no more arrows. That's what I will do.
Does anything happen, Gil?
Alright, at this point, I'm gonna find your last location that you want to be in.
Right here, because I'm over enthusiastic. Actually, right here.
Could I go all the way to that, like, on the map where it shows, like, the doors on the ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Essentially, I'm just gonna go try to find Vimak, so however far you'll let me go.
Oh yeah, you can kind of see him over here.
Okay, yep, so I'm good there then.
Alright, and at this point, the crashing door echo throughout the hall as you all roll for an.
Vimak, this is a pretty big place. I don't know how far we can go before we can't get out.
Alright. Vimak, you're up first. You see these two goblins with bows and arrows.
Alright. So I want to step into the room, like right by the door. And then I'm gonna attack this one with longsword.
Okay. And that one, with its bow, it kind of parries your longsword and it gets out of the way of the swing.
Okay. Then I'm gonna action surge. And
Okay.
Strike him again.
Okay. So after parrying your longsword, he dodges out of the way. You take back your longsword and swing at him again, and he ducks out of the way.
Alright. That ends my turn then.
Okay. On his turn, he takes his short bow and swings it at you. And he hits you for 2 points of damage. Finding an opening. He thwacked you with his short bow.
What a piece of shit.
Okay, so he uses his bonus action to disengage as he slips by you. I think that would. He's just trapped in here. He yells out something in Goblin that echoes throughout the hallway. And Wes and Thalai, you can hear this.
Hey, West, what did he say?
I don't know. I don't speak Goblin or whatever.
I thought you knew everything.
How I know some things. I would expect you to know, actually.
No. No, I was a hermit. I grew up in the forest basically by myself. It's lucky I speak anything.
Oh. Well, Vimak needs our help. We'll talk about that later.
What is the problem? Are you okay? Like, you keep...
Is he meowing at you too?
Yeah, he's like I fed him this morning. Like, oh god, don't swipe at my hand. Ah!
Okay. Thalai is getting attacked by a cat, so we'll
In
skip
real
her
life.
turn.
God damn.
I'm kidding. Go ahead. What do you want to do, Thalai?
I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15. Is there a door over here?
Yeah, that's the one Vimak went through.
Okay, it doesn't let me go through. Did I miss the door? Is there a door here? 20? Ooh,
You're on Vimak now.
can I be right here?
I'm gonna say no because it's too tight of a squeeze. So you can be right there.
Alright. I guess I'm here if you need the heals, man. Does he look worse for wear? Does he look like he needs any help? Like how
He does have an arrow in his shoulder, and it looks like he has a bruise on his side. But other than that, he doesn't seem like
Alright,
too
then
bad off.
okay, you know what? I'll go ahead and do
The aura around his token looks green,
okay. He has a healthy aura. I leave him alone. He don't need my help yet.
unless he says.
So I ready my longsword with both hands, and if something gets near enough that is an enemy for me to attack, I'm gonna stab them.
I think you can stab this one over here, but it's gonna have some cover.
Okay. Then I'm going to stab that guy.
Okay.
'Cause it, you know.
But you miss.
I tried.
Yes. All right. Wes, your turn. What do you do?
I'll start moving,
You move.
and I see just like people standing by a door, but doesn't look like there's much space at all.
Yeah, it looks like a tight fit with the two Goliaths.
I'm not gonna go there. Guess I will.
Also, you see another door here, a door here, door here, and two doors.
Oh, okay. So these little third doorways. I see.
Yeah.
I will prepare Eldritch Blast, watching kind of the backside. So they're fighting through the door. I'm kind of watching the other doors and then back out where we came through.
Okay.
And that'll be it.
Prepare an Eldritch Blast. And Vimak, it's your turn. What do? You just got whacked by a short bow.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying to hit that guy.
Okay. he parries your longsword again.
Well, that's end of that. That'll end my turn there.
Okay. Thalai, you hear some movement coming from the north door?
Do I have to disengage?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit, and I'm just gonna stab him again.
Wait, it's not your turn. Sorry. I said you hear movement from the north as the door opens up and you see.
I don't stab anybody then. Ignore that roll.
See
I
the
just
number
did 'cause I got-
5.
You can see the number 5. I can't. I see someone in armor.
You don't want to see
Vimak,
what
you and I need to switch places.
Yeah. Here, I'll have a monster handout.
His
You
face
see,
kind of looks like a lion. Rawr.
you see something about a human size, maybe taller, around like 6 foot, wearing chainmail. In one hand, they have a longsword, in the other hand, they have a shield. And they point at you, like kind of like how they're pointing in that picture.
I just smile and wave.
It moves up over here to flank you, and they swing their longsword.
And they miss.
But you are being protected. Okay, so you use your reaction to those disadvantage, and it misses. As see the longsword about to be swung at you, Vimak's shield reaches around the door and protects you. Another one pops out through the door and swings its longsword at you and misses. This one tries to hit you from the door frame and misses. And that's it.
How about that Eldritch
Next.
Blast?
Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Completely skipped that. Alright, so before all that happened, you see the Hobgoblin pop up. You want to fire your Eldritch Blast?
That's sure.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
As it crosses the door frame, it hits the ground dead. But everything else happens in that way.
God damn, there's still 3 of them. But nice
That's
job, West. You're amazing.
Yeah, as soon as you cross the door frame, your Eldritch Blast fires right at his head, and it explodes, drenching Thalai in blood. The goblin over here has his short bow. He drops it, picks up his scimitar, and starts swinging at Vimak, and hits you for 8 points of damage. And then this one does the same thing, drops a short bow, and with scimitar in hand swings at you and misses. Thalai, what do you do?
I'm going to cast Thunder Wave. Going this way.
Okay. I'm gonna assume it's like this.
Yeah, you right.
Alright. You cast Thunder Wave. You stomp your foot at the ground as you cause a wave of thunder to emit from you towards the Hobgoblins.
We'll probably all be able to dodge, but at least they'll take half damage, and they still did some damage.
Saving throw DC 11. And the damage is 6.
Yeah.
Alright. So this one manages to hold steady, but it still takes half damage. Yep. So it takes 3. This one is pushed away from you 10 feet.
He also took all 6 damage.
Yeah. And then this one gets pushed into the wall, leaving like a crack in the wall where he impacted.
Green. And then, as a bonus action, yes. As a bonus action, I'm going to give Bardic Inspiration to West.
Okay. Wes, you are now bardically inspired. Here, you can have a trophy. Anything else on your turn, Thalai?
I mean, if I move, I don't want to move because if I move, I'm gonna get a lot of opportunities attacks, and I'm gonna be screwed. So I'm gonna stay there
Okay.
and hope for the best.
Alright, Wes, it's your turn. Also, when you did that thunder wave, it sent like another crackling echo throughout the halls.
Yeah, I know. I was aware it was gonna be loud and messy.
Okay. I will. Looks like I'm gonna cast another Eldritch Blast on this one. It's the one closest to the door.
This one? Okay. You pure Eldritch Blast towards it. And you hit the door frame.
Okay. Door still intact, like people could get through it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yuki, quit digging at the carpet.
I'll move a little bit more, and then I'll end my turn.
Okay. Next up, top of the round, Vimak. You are playing with goblins in this tiny room. What are you doing now?
First, I'm gonna do a second wind.
Okay.
1d10.
+2.
So 5 health.
Yay.
Alright, and then I'm gonna attempt to whack this guy a third time.
Okay. You swing at the goblin you've been trying to swing at, and it looks like it's about to try to parry your blow, but you've learned your lesson and decide to, instead of slashing, you're thrusting, and you thrust right through its face as it dies.
Awesome. And that for the fighting style protection, is that one per combat or is that one per turn?
One per turn. Like, you have one reaction
Okay.
per round.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I won't move then.
Okay.
I'll end my turn here.
Gotcha. Next up, Wes, you hear some movement coming from the door south of you.
There's nothing I can do in response, right?
Did you ready anything?
No.
No. Okay. Then
I feel like
no.
you're just telling me I'm gonna die.
Maybe. Who knows? I don't. Dice can roll any way they want. Keep dragging the numbers out, and the number 4 attacks you.
Well, the cat is just meowing at me. Like,
Give him food.
I don't want to get up. I'm sore.
The door is open. Revealing a goblin with a bow. An arrow. It shoots one at you, West. It misses. Gets out of the way. As another goblin appears and fires a bow and arrow and hits you for 7. As one appears here with a scimitar, it approaches you and swings. It swings so hard You duck out of the way, and its sword gets stuck in the stone wall. We'll draw here. And it's their turn as this hobgoblin takes its longsword and swings it at Thalai. Do you do your fighting style protection?
Yeah. Yep.
And it misses. Well, it looks like it's about to hit with a 20, but with disadvantage, it actually rolls a 12, and Vimak's shield blocks it. But this one swings at you too. And it hits you for 2 points of damage.
I can take that.
And then this
Alexis?
goblin is dead.
Can you give the cat a treat from the drawer? After you
cat-
pee.
This goblin is dead. And this one is alive, swinging its scimitar at you, Vimak. It swings so hard. Actually, it winds up, but then the sword slips out of its hands as it flies out of the arrow slit. Its sword is now out here. Yeah. Thalai, it's your turn.
Okay,
Sarah.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. This guy, I'm gonna take my wonderful longsword and shiv him with it.
Which one? Oh wait, 17
Why is
doesn't.
my mouse not working?
I don't know, but it doesn't.
Oh, I know why. Because I'm not on Snap. So
But
right
it doesn't hit.
here. What?
It-
For 17, it doesn't hit?
It holds up its shield while it wears its chainmail armor, and it blocks your longsword.
Oh, that's why it's not. Because this AC is probably like 20, and I no freaking way am I gonna hit 20.
Anything else?
I don't think I can. How does Vimak look? Well, hold on. He's yellow now, right?
A lime green.
Alright. I'm gonna wait till it's orange, and then I will help. Because in case we need more healing later. They only have 2 spell slots left.
Okay. Wes, it's your turn. You were just hit by an arrow. It sting.
Just trying to process all the stuff that just happened.
It's a lot to process.
Yeah. Sword in the wall, sword in the ground, huge thunder scream thing, people flying everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and I got hit.
Yeah, it looks like there's at least like 4 goblins south of you. Who knows? Maybe there's more.
Why did we try to storm a castle, guys?
For fun?
Okay, so I'm thinking that we gotta somehow reduce the amount of space so that way we bottleneck them, but let's see.
But yeah, like this goblin shrugged at you when you asked why you guys tried to the castle.
So the goblin right next to me doesn't have a weapon in hand, right?
Yeah, well,
From what
it
I
can.
can see.
It's holding on to the weapon that's stuck in the wall.
Is there such a thing that I can grapple and essentially try to use the goblin as a shield, like a human shield, where I, try to restrain it with my arm around its neck and kind of back away this direction with it, or is that not?
You can, yeah, you can grapple. It's gonna be an athletics check from you, and then it's gonna oppose that with either athletics or acrobatics. So if you beat it on that roll, you grapple.
Alright, I do it.
Yeah, you. Oh, hold on, maybe you'll roll on that 20. That's gonna use acrobatics to try to dodge out of the way. Oh, not even. It's like you managed to grapple him. You got him in a headlock. As I mean, he's smaller than you, so you're kind of like dragging him, kind of carrying him.
Okay. Thalai, are you gonna stay out in the open, or are you gonna go inside? Because as soon as I move, they're
I'm
gonna
gonna
start shooting.
disengage and I'm gonna try to disengage and run in a second.
And I can move with the goblin. It's like,
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
half your movement speed though, because you're. Oh yeah, that's manageable.
Yep. And then I think that's all I can do. So,
Okay.
It's my turn.
So while you're grappling, it can on its turns it can try to get out of your grapple. You would just roll athletics again to keep your grip on him.
Okay.
But while he's grappled, he is can't move. Speed becomes 6. And he is. That's it. He can't move. He can still attack you, like with his free hand. But he doesn't have a weapon, so he'll probably just punch at you. It's like a clinch in boxing. So top of the round, Vimak. You're stuck in this room. It looks like with a goblin that just lost its scimitar.
I'm gonna take a swipe at him.
No, you miss as
Yeah,
it rolls out of the way.
that ends my turn.
Okay. This goblin's gonna try to get out of your grapple. So roll athletics to oppose it. You manage to hold on to the goblin. As this one fires an arrow at Thalai.
Mhm.
And hits you for 6 piercing damage. And then this one fires another arrow at you. Did you want to use your protection against the arrows?
Yeah, I'll use it.
Okay. Even with the disadvantage, it rolls a 15 and still hits you alive for 6 points of damage. As another arrow fires at you. But instead it hits It hits the goblin over here that Wes is holding for 6 points of damage.
It must have. Did a crit.
Then this one also has a bow and arrow. But misses. Next up, the Hobgoblin over here is going to swing its longsword at you, but misses. This one does the same, but misses. And this one, after being tossed back, it comes back into the fray and swings its longsword at you, but misses. Cannot make up these rolls. Wow. The goblin over here, with nothing except a short bow, it jumps at your head, Vimak, and it's going to try to grapple your face. So you can either roll athletics to oppose it or acrobatics. Get it out of the way.
Ain't looking too good.
Surprised that it would jump on your face.
Struggling with goblins, if only he knew what was outside.
So you get brought down to the ground by this goblin. You were completely caught off guard. So you're technically on the ground right now. This goblin's on top of you. Like it's suffocating you basically. Like it's got its whole body around your head. It's growing in your face. And if you take a breath, you could smell some pretty gnarly stink.
Sweet.
Thalai, what are you doing? You are being pelted by arrows, surrounded by 3 hobgoblins. And
Great.
suddenly behind you hear Vimak struggling with this goblin.
Alright, I cast Healing Word on Vimak.
Oh, not on yourself?
Nope.
Okay.
I know. I'm going to... Oh god, the only gives him 2 healing damage, although we spell slot. Disengage. 5, 10, 15.
Alright, healing word's an action.
Healing Word is a bonus action.
You're right. Alright, so you do that.
I'm gonna come over here. And then one at a time. So I'm gonna take my swordy sword, and hopefully I don't die on this next turn, so I can heal myself. But I'm gonna take my longsword now because I still have an action, and I'm gonna stab this goblin right there, and it doesn't hit
Hey, why do you still have an action?
because. Oh no, I don't because I disengaged. You're right.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I forgot
you-
the disengage part.
Did you still want to move here?
Yeah, because I don't want it. Because they're gonna come in anyway. Yeah.
I mean, they all have short bows right now.
Yeah, can they shoot over each other?
I mean,
I guess they go here and try to get cover then.
alright. Is that your final position?
Oh, god damn it.
I'm just asking.
No,
I'm just
my
asking
final
where you want to
position
go.
is right here then.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes.
Are you doubly sure?
Oh my god.
Would you like to phone a friend?
Yes. Hey guys, what do you think of my position, or should I move? I'm good. Checking me out. I'm good, sir.
I mean, the screen's been black since I entered this room, so I have no knowledge of what's happening anywhere else.
Well, Vimak, you have 2 more points of life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And a goblin set of testicles in my face right now. Totally fine.
Just give him a bite and you'll be fine.
No.
We'll trade you this goblin for Vimak, and we'll be on our way.
Okay, so that's your final final. All right. So Wes, what are you doing? You've got this goblin that just took an arrow to the face. It's still alive though, but barely.
Can I, like, let go of my grapple and attack the goblin in the same turn?
You can attack.
Okay. And then... I'm just checking to see what I can do here. Not looking good. Not too many things. Alright, I will attack the goblin that I was grappling.
Mhm.
Am I able to use my quarterstaff? Or
Yeah, you can use your quarterstaff. It'll just be one-handed though.
okay, one-handed.
You bonk it on the head. It dies.
Alright. And then I can still move if I want.
Yeah, you saw it.
There's really no good spot. Vimak, what kind of position are you in? Or like, well, I guess Gil, can we talk out of character about tactics or?
I want to say no,
Okay, I see. Take that back then. Because
But
on
you
my
can still-
screen
you can
I
still-
can't see him, so
yeah, but you can ask him, like
Yeah.
in character.
I don't know if I would be able to see him though, and therefore I don't think I would.
The only response you would get would be gargling anyways at this point.
Yeah, alright. Thalai, how was Vimak looking? Is he doing alright?
He was a little shaky, able to help him a tad, but not enough, probably.
Okay, because I don't think either of us can take on those goblins and other guys in armor, and you look like you're pretty beat up. It doesn't look like you can take another hit, can you?
I mean, I can take a tiny hit.
Okay, I can't. So I will move behind Thalai. Oh wait, there's an arrow slit.
Do you still have a healing potion?
No. Gave it to Sildar.
Mm-mm.
Well, good luck, Thalai. So I will move there.
Okay. Top of the round. Vimek, what are you doing?
Trying to get the goblin, attack the goblin, get him off me. Something along those lines.
Yeah, you can always attack him.
Alright.
He is on you, but your arms are still.
Alright.
Pretty-
I'm gonna try slicing him. It's
Okay.
roll with disadvantage, ain't it?
Yeah, because you're on the ground prone. But with that, you hit him.
How he does it.
Uh-huh.
You slice off everything except the groin. So the groin's still on your face, but the goblin's dead.
Cool. Awesome. Nice. Is it an action to stand up?
It's half your movement speed to stand up.
Alright, I'm gonna stand up.
You do that.
Is there a door, or is this just an opening? Is the door like in on my side, or is the door on the?
Well, since you bashed it in, it's facing towards you.
Is it an action if I wanted to close it?
No, it's a free action.
Alright, then I'm gonna close it and sit against the door. And-
All right, you close the door, and it doesn't like lock all the way. Like it doesn't click.
Right,
If that makes sense.
yeah.
But it is covering the entranceway there.
Okay.
Get to this door.
There we go. And that'll end my turn.
Okay. Next up, are these goblins? No one can see them, so no one knows what they're doing. They're doing stuff. Things that you don't want to know. Maybe. Who knows?
They gotta put their shoes on before they leave that room, Gil. That's what I heard about goblins.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, that's Lauren. So you don't see them right away, so you assume they're putting on their shoes. And the hobgoblins, they've been having their shoes on, so they can do things. Thalai, you notice this one making its way towards you.
I
With
don't
its
like
long
it.
sword.
Mm-mm.
Swings its long sword at you, but you deflect it with your long sword.
Yay.
Vimak, you hear something approaching your door, and suddenly you feel something trying to knock down your door. And roll an athletics check to see if you maintain your weight on the door. All right, and you feel a second one try to break down your door. Roll another one. Dang. All right, yeah, you managed to keep your door up. For how long?
They'll tire out eventually, right?
Or you'll tire out. All right, so Thalai, you have this hobgoblin in front of you with a long sword. It just tried to swing at you. You blocked it with your long sword. Your long swords are now clashed.
Alright, I'm gonna disengage.
Oh, okay.
Because I already know these guys, and I'm gonna go over here. 5, 10, 15, 20. What's my
30. Your movement speed is 30.
Alright.
You can technically just jump down 5 feet.
Oh, cool. I jumped down. So that was 5, 10, 15, 20, and then 25.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna stay right here. Actually, no, I'm gonna move one over so Wes can jump down.
Okay. Wes, you just saw Thalai run past you down the terrace. As a hobgoblin is at the doorway with his long sword ready.
Okay. This is feeling like that Game of Thrones episode with the big guy holding the door.
Hodor.
Yeah, I wanna just run away for the sake of having that memory, but I will go ahead and cast Eldritch Blast on the Hobgoblin,
Okay.
and I would use my Bardic Inspiration.
You can call it afterwards,
Oh, okay. Oh, wait.
just in case it does hit a suit. Do you want to use your Bardic Inspiration?
I can only use it on the chance to hit or the damage as well.
Only on the chance to hit.
Oh, I don't think I need to, though, no.
Okay. You nail it right in the chest. It groans in pain, and it kind of staggers before it regains its composure, and it's looking at you. It points at you with its longsword.
Then kill it.
Oh, these is hefty.
Are you gonna do Do anything else?
I was just checking my other skills to see. I don't think I have bonus action, so I think I will move. I'm just trying to make sure I get a good idea of where I can move.
Hmm.
I'll move here.
Okay, you do that.
That's it.
Okay. Top of the round, Vimak, you are holding this door shut as you feel pounding on it.
I want to look around the room to see if there's any, like, maybe loose stones or anything in there while I'm sitting against the door.
So like I said, it's a small room littered with debris, so there are some stones, like small stones, and quivers of arrows, crudely made. It looks like.
Okay. So I guess I'm gonna grab the goblins and kind of put them against the door and sit on top of them.
Okay.
And there's no larger stones, nothing like that on the ground. It's all pebbles and whatnot.
Yeah. Were you looking for like a boulder?
Anything large enough could also be used to prop against the door.
The goblins are probably the largest. Second to you.
Okay. And what I want to do is, in front of me, activate my hunting trap. Just like on
In front of you, like right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I'll end my turn.
Put your hunting trap in front of you. Alright, next up, goblins. Wes, an arrow flies at you from this arrow slit over here. But misses you. As a second arrow flies your way. And this one hits you for 8 piercing damage.
What is wrong, Cat?
You guys are getting pelted by arrows. That's next up, the Hobgoblin's turn. Pointed sword at you, Wes, so it starts making its way towards you. With this long sword, it holds it up in the air and swings it down. But dang, I can't roll with these Hobgoblins as it misses. You feel more pounding on the door, Vimak. So you have athletics with advantage because you have something helping you. And go ahead and roll it a second time. Dang, that one was close. Almost had you. You felt the door give way just a little bit more. But you managed to summon up enough strength to maintain your hold. Thalai, what are you gonna do? You notice this Hobgoblin's about to obliterate Wes. Maybe. Who knows?
Alright. I
don't
jump
know.
up 5. Would that really be 10? To jump up?
That's 5 feet high.
5, 10, 15, 20. And I pray that I don't screw this up. And I... Ooh, wrong longsword. Do that one at him. And I cast... Oh no, I guess.
It blocks your longsword with its shield as it pushes you off.
I'm probably... I'd rather do more than 1d4 plus 1. But... It's the only healing I can do since that didn't work, so... I'm gonna cast Healing Word on Wes and pray that it's a high number. You get 2. That seems to be the amount, and I'm out of spells.
Okay. Wes, it's your turn.
Alright. Well, I think Wes recognized that it feels like Thalai has sacrificed herself to try and save. I will go ahead and cast Eldritch Blast on this guy.
Okay. I was gonna say you have disadvantage because he's in melee range of you, but I guess that doesn't matter because you put your palm on his stomach and let loose an Eldritch Blast as it blows a hole in him and he dies.
Okay. And now I get to move.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything I can do. Because if Thalai healed me, she wouldn't want me to die. And for me to move in front of the arrow slit would kill me. So Thalai wants me to live. Therefore, I will move here.
That's some good reasoning.
Wasn't my choice, but that's what Thalai would want, I believe.
Okay.
So I'll end my turn.
Okay. Top of the round, Vimak.
PW, what would Thalai want?
Vimak, you are holding this door. You feel yourself tiring.
So, what my plan would be here is to move kind of like down here and bring the goblins silently so that there's nothing against the door.
Alright, you do that. I don't think you need to do it silent.
Well, I don't want
There's a lot
them
of
to...
commotion happening.
Okay, well, I just don't want them to hear, because my plan would be for them to charge in and spring the trap, thinking that there's still a lot of weight they have to kind of run in real hard kind of thing.
Okay.
That's my intent. So
Gotcha.
after that, I'm just going to ready my sword and shield, and... fuck it. I'm going to use my healing pot, too, as my action.
You have healing pot?
Pot. I have one pot.
You have a healing pot?
Yep. Just the one.
Yeah, you take a hit of your
have
healing pot.
Marijuana.
Yep, it's good stuff. Wait, what is
So
the...
you heal 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2. Six?
4. Because you rolled a... Wait.
2.
You said 2d4 plus 2.
Oh, sorry. I thought you added the 2 to your... Okay,
Oh.
so yeah, 6.
I didn't know how to add it before the
No,
I'm
fact.
just do plus 2.
You heal
After
for
the
6.
2d4, just plus 2.
Okay. Oh, then I'll end my turn.
Hold door. Okay, Goblin's turn. There's an arrow that flies towards your way, Thalai, and hits you for 7.
Oh god, I'm out.
Oh wait, no, never mind. It doesn't. It rolled a 12. My bad. And I see your AC is at 13. But there's an arrow that flies towards you and misses. You hear a banging on the door as it swings wide open. The Hobgoblin, its momentum brings it forward, thinking it needed to really put some oomph in it, and it lands on the trap. Trap does 5 points of damage to it as it amputates its leg and it falls to the ground dead.
Finally, it has worth. All this
That
time.
trap.
Yeah.
Situational, man. Every tool is invaluable in the right situation.
Another hobgoblin appears at the doorway with longsword in hand. Seeing what happened, it carefully makes its way into the room and sees you, and swings its longsword at your face, but misses. Cannot roll these hobgoblins.
I appreciate you not being able to roll those hobgoblins.
No problem. They look intimidating. They look like they can do a lot of damage, but they're not. Thalai, it's your turn. Arrows just flew in your direction, but missed as if.
I'm gonna ignore the fact that it happened, and I'm gonna come over here to the arrow slit because I know that Vimak is.
It's about 10 feet high.
But I'm pretty tall.
Yeah, but how tall are you? Are you 10 feet tall?
I'm 7 feet tall, but if I put my
Okay.
arms up and I jump,
What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do with this?
I'm trying to jump up and pull apart the arrow slit so that Vimak has a wider opening.
Okay, so you're gonna try to pull apart the stone arrow slit.
Yes,
So Vimak has an opening.
absolutely. I'm not saying it's a good plan,
Okay, athletics.
but it's my plan.
Go ahead and roll athletics. Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna die, but we're gonna try.
You jump up, you grab onto the arrow slit, and you use your weight to try to widen it. I don't know. But it's stone and unmoving, and it kind of hurts your arm. So gravity brings you back down as you let go, and
Okay, I have a new plan.
okay.
But you'll have to find out what it is next, because I'm then going to go, because I was here. So that was 5, 10, 15, 20. I have a new plan for next time.
Okay.
It's gonna
Wes,
be great, guys.
what are you doing?
So that did happen, right? The whole
What happened?
trying to open the arrow slit thing.
I failed.
Well, all you saw was a Goliath jump up towards the arrow slit, grab onto it, and then let go.
You can ask me what I was trying to do, West. I'm right beside you. I could do it. I could tell you.
Sure. What are you trying to do there?
I want to make the arrow slit bigger because Vimak's kind of trapped. And I thought if we could somehow make the arrow slit bigger, that we could do that. My next attempt is going to be lifting up the Hobgoblin and seeing if I can smash him into the thing to make it work.
Okay. It seemed like it was pretty tough, though.
I'm grasping at straws and I'm trying to be helpful, and so my chaotic nature is coming out a little bit.
Understandable. I was gonna stuff the Hobgoblin in this arrow slit so that they couldn't shoot us, but if you're gonna use
that
them
sounds
to...
good. It's just
No,
do
no.
that. Do that. My plan's not gonna work.
I don't want to steal your thunder. I believe in you.
You could. I mean, there's a goblin too. The goblin might be easier for you to shove up there.
That's true. Gil, on the map I can't see through the arrow slit. Is that accurate?
Yeah, because it's about
Okay.
10 feet up.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I could have stood here the whole time. Did not know that. That makes sense, though. Okay.
Dang, Kitty, what's wrong?
Oh no, but he's just meowing. I fed him this morning.
It's 5,
I don't know what's
10,
wrong.
15, 20. And I don't see any goblins.
Okay.
Are these doors open?
Yeah, they're still open.
If they were to open, would they open outwards towards me to where can I hold them closed?
No, they open.
Inwards?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to, if this is possible, I have a torch and oil in my backpack. Can I throw it at the entrance of those doors to like start a fire as an action?
You can, but it. Let's see. With your
Got 3 oil.
intellect and wisdom, you can
Okay.
probably tell that nothing else would catch fire. Actually, no, the doors. Yeah, well, the doors are. Okay, yeah. So the interior doors are made of wood reinforced with iron bands. So that could potentially catch fire.
With my character's knowledge, would I know if the oil and fire would kind of cause like a firewall? So not so much catch stuff on fire, but prevent people from leaving without having to run through fire? I guess I can just try and see what happens, but
Yeah.
okay. That's what I would like to try to do. So I'll throw the oil and the torch, hoping that it will cause a fire. So, anything I have to do that?
Give me an either dexterity or strength for throw, and you're trying to make it land right here, right?
Yeah, so if like the 2 doorways both have the fire, not in the doorway, but you would exiting right into the fire. Yeah. Right, so dexterity or strength, they are the same. So I go with the S.
I don't know what
Can
you want, Cat.
I use bardic
You did a
inspiration?
saving throw. You didn't do the actual strength.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
How you want to
click your ability.
Okay.
We'll
I'm
pretend
gonna
it
be
didn't
right
happen. Go ahead and roll your ability rather than the saving.
Okay, that was just likely warm up.
It was no
What
more.
is it? What is the thing that's starting?
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah. So you managed to land it where you want it, and now there's a torch with So you threw
Oil.
the oily rag first, and then you threw the torch at it, and that caught fire.
Oh, that bag of that right here. Have.
Alright, so that's there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just move back. Breaking line of sight. Go there. Alright, that's it.
Okay. Top of the round, Vimak.
Alright, here we go. I'm gonna attack this hobgoblin with my sword.
Preparing for your attack, it holds up his shield.
I got this. Horse shit.
And distracted by the shield, he sucker punches you in the gut, causing you to miss. I'm gonna say you just take 1 point of damage. So it's a good roll.
But it's out of the way now, so, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, that ends my turn.
Why are you so healthy?
Haven't been... I was only half health and then I took the pot.
Oh wait, use a health push. Yeah. Okay. Goblin's turn. You hear a shout inside. Wes kind of echoes through this hallway. like a frantic sounding shout.
I can't
And
hear any.
blah, blah, blah.
I can. You're just weirdly quiet when I put my ear.
Okay. Something's happening in there. It's not sure what. Hobgoblin's turn. It after sucker punching you, it takes it draws back the longsword in preparation for swinging, and swings it at you, but you block it with your shield. Dang, it's gonna be impossible here. AC 18s for both of you.
I need some inspiration.
Yeah, so does the Hobgoblin. You know what? You're right. I'll let him roll with advantage next.
Wow.
All right.
Oh my god.
So, Thalai, it's your turn.
I'm sorry. I have no idea what happened because I realized I hadn't taken my meds and that's why I was feeling so poopy.
It's fine because you're outside and you can't tell what's happening. Wes looked like he went inside, and now he's back outside. You're not sure what that was about.
All right. Well, then I'm going to continue with my other plan. 5, 10, 15. I'm going to grab the hobgoblin and I'm going to smash him against the stone in the opening where the arrow slit is to see if I can hammer out a stone to make a wider gap.
Okay. Athletics check.
Nope. I don't think I can even lift him up.
You do lift him up, and you toss him at the wall, but it doesn't reach the arrows because you kind of like give a small toss, and it's back on the ground.
It was 20, 25, 30. I'm going to hide right below the arrow slit.
Mm-hmm. You do that, no problem. All right, Wes, what are you doing?
Alright, I will move 5, 10. Hey,
Right.
it's a goblin.
As you move back, you see a goblin with like a cloth, not cloth, like a blanket made out of like woven cloth, and it looks like it's trying to put out the fire without trying to have it catch.
Would it be this one, or
Yeah.
I will try to hit him with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Alright, how does it work with the Bardic Inspiration if it's a natural
Yeah.
one?
In combat, it's just going to be a natural one's always just going to be a miss.
Okay, so there's no point to.
Yeah,
Okay.
using the bardic inspiration.
Alright.
So with your that one, you let loose an eldritch blast.
It's a 12 damage Eldritch Blast.
Yeah. So you hit the ceiling above you, and debris starts to crumble down. A large piece manages to hit you on the head for 1 point of damage.
Thought that would have been worse.
It could have.
Okay. I think I still got some movement, so I will move 15. And then this is a door right here. Something.
Yeah.
I'll stay there.
Okay. As you move here. Mhm. So there's some debris around here, and the debris is hiding a tripwire. So you cross the threshold here, you hit the tripwire, causing looks like there are wooden beams that the tripwire was connected to, and the wooden beams start to fall, causing looks like there were placed heavy stones above you. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, make sure I get the right one.
Alright, pass. So I roll 3d6, and you take half of that bludgeoning damage.
It doesn't matter, I only have 3 life. But I'll see if I die instantly, I guess.
Oh no! No, wait, hold on. Hold on.
What did you do, Gil?
Wait, you only take half that, so it's 9. Okay, so you're not dead. You're fine. Well, no, you're not fine. You're
I'm
incapacitated.
unconscious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just stole 3, like, extremely good rolls, though. Like,
I
back to
know.
back.
It's from the Hobgoblins. All the bad rolls with the Hobgoblins. So Thalai and Vimak, you hear a collapsing noise echoing out in the hallway.
Oh no.
So top of the round, Vimak, what are you doing?
Going for round 2.
Alright. Ooh.
Oh, there we go. That feels better.
How do you want to do it? How do you want to do it?
He goes to, or I want to go through the shield.
Oh. So it holds up his shield again, ready to block your attack. But you thrust your sword right through it. It splinters the shield in half, breaking through and into the goblin's face. The hobgoblin's face, as it dies.
Nice.
Alright, you beat the archer room. Good job.
Yep. I can finally see what's been happening outside this room.
Yeah.
Alright. That's the plan. I don't know. I can't see what's there, but my plan is to move that over there.
Okay, I can say when you get here, I'll let you know what's going on.
Okay.
Right, so outside, you see a fire at the end of the hallway here, and a goblin trying to put it out. You see Wes's body covered in debris. He looks unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
You see a dead goblin here, dead hobgoblin here. No signs of Thalai though.
Mm-hmm. Would you say I heard
yeah.
some banging outside against the wall while I was in there?
Oh yeah, like on the arrow slit.
Mm-hmm.
You heard one banging,
Okay.
like a thud, not
Okay.
really a bang.
So I just assume she's outside.
Mm.
And the fire. Wait, is the fire? Oh, it's in that corner. It's not the middle doors here. This is the fire. No. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the yellow? Can I see what that is?
That's that's a scimitar that's wedged into the wall.
Oh, okay. So, how much more? Did I have enough room?
You moved 10 feet?
Okay, so that'd be 25 there.
Yeah.
Is it possible to help Wes being in any way? I have without having any sort of potions or anything. Is there anything?
Yeah, you can do a medicine check to try to stabilize him.
Okay, then that. Oh wait, I already used an action, right?
You did, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go to him, and that'll end my turn right here.
Okay. Goblin's turn. One's trying to put out the it's trying to put out the fire. It's not really focused on. Thalai, it's your turn. What do you do?
Great. I 5, 10, 15, 20. I rush. Did he pick up west or no? He's just at west.
What?
Sorry, I spaced out. So 5, 10, 15. Oh no, 15. I was like, Vimak, we just need to grab west and go. and regroup and refigure this out.
Aren't they all almost dead though? I only see one goblin.
That we know of. You can take the goblin. Have at you.
Well, you can also see some kind of body over here, right?
It looks like there's some couple of things in this room though, because I see 1, 2. So it really
okay.
looks like there's
So-
3 goblins left,
Okay.
not just 1. And right now there's a fire between us and them. So, I mean, and now it's just the 2 of us, and I'm not looking so good. So if you want to go fight the goblins, man, you go fight the goblins. But I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you can take west, and I'll stay here and try to hold them off and buy time.
All right.
So that's what we'll do. I'm good with
All
that
right.
plan.
So I'm gonna go see if I can do some medicine on West. I don't have any more healing slots. So
Go ahead and do a medicine check.
yes.
Can I help with
But I
that?
was
Yeah, you have advantage then.
all right. Let's
So
see if this
Thalai-
actually does any good.
Advantage on medicine check.
Oh, hold on. I'm just moving everything around so I can see things.
15 is enough to stabilize him, so he is stabilized.
What do I need to roll
For what?
to see how long he stays unconscious?
Oh, 1d4. Four hours.
Of course, I roll high when I don't want to roll high. All right, so I grab him. Can I grab him?
I'm gonna say that's an act to start dragging.
Okay, so I can't grab
Not
him
yet.
because I did the medicine check, right? So I was going to do the medicine check on the next turn, but that's okay. All right, I have him, or I don't have him. I guess I'll go get him on the next turn.
Okay.
All right. That's my turn.
Right, Wes, you are unconscious, but you don't need to make death saves because you're stabilized. Top of the round, Vimak.
Alright, so the fire's only on this square here, it's not on this one, right?
Oh, I forgot to keep rolling for the fire.
Oh, if there's a fire.
Yeah, it's just on that square.
Oh, okay. And the scimitar is just wedged into the wall there?
Yeah.
Would it be an action to try to pry it loose?
Yeah, it looks like it's pretty deep in there, and you need to make an athletics check.
But it would take an action, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it possible for me to throw a great axe?
Yeah.
Alright.
And I say you can throw it max 15 feet because you're a Goliath.
Alright. Then I want to try to hit this guy by throwing a great axe at him.
Okay.
So what is that, a strength roll?
Yeah, you can just roll the great axe normally then.
Oh, my bad.
I think you're rolling the great axe normally.
I tried. Oh, there it goes.
you take the great axe and you start spinning around like a whirlwind, and then you let go of it, and it goes spinning towards this goblin, decapitating it. And now there's a great axe over there.
Nice. That'll end my turn.
Okay. Next up, Goblin. This one takes the cloth, or now this one has a bow and arrow. Seeing what you just did, it lets loose an arrow at your face, and it hits you for 3. Not in your face though. It hits your pectoral.
All right.
This one can see your leg. It's gonna try to smack at you with its short bow. But its short bow catches fire. Yeah, he has. Both of you have.
Yeah, I used everything just in that first room with the very beginning. I blew
Remember when you guys were running through the terrace? When you guys were running through the terrace with the arrows flying at you?
Oh yeah, that's when I used that.
That's also when I use that.
Alright, but its bow is now on fire. Thalai, it's your turn.
I'm going to pick up West.
Okay, you do that, no problem. You have half movement speed now.
Alright. So 5, 10, 15. Where's West?
Even
You
half
left
with
him.
powerful build?
Oh yeah, you're a Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
You can move the full 30.
Okay. 20, 25, and then I'm going to jump down for 30.
Right, Wes hits his head on the terrace here.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, he doesn't. But he does.
No, he doesn't. You
Alright.
lied.
Wes, you feel your head hitting a hard object, but you're
No,
unconscious.
he doesn't. That
Top
did
of the
not
round.
happen. Don't encourage him.
Right?
Don't
but
encourage him.
even
He
though
will
you
take
hit your
advantage
head,
of that.
you feel like you succeeded in escaping death. Vimak, it's your turn. What do you do?
I'm gonna grab that other grate. Well, when does the fire roll? If it's still lit up or not?
So tap. Nothing around there to catch fire, so it just stays put.
Oh, okay. So as long as it's still going, I'm just gonna grab my other great axe and throw it at this boy. And,
Okay.
Great axe.
Ooh. This one. Doesn't have it. So it hits. This one plunges into its chest as it dies.
Nice.
Sorry, Steven. You can't see anything right now.
And
Neither can I.
this guy, he has a bow on fire, right?
Yeah, he dropped it though.
And how does fire work? It just has a limited time that it lasts, or?
Yeah, and each round is 6 seconds. So right now the fire's been burning for about around 18 seconds.
Okay. So I'm just gonna back up to here,
Okay.
and then I'll actually back up more to right here, and end my turn right there.
All right. So right now, what are everyone's intentions?
To try to take a short rest hiding out down here while Vimak fights everybody for the next hour.
I want my great axes, so I gotta wait for this fire to go out.
Oh, okay.
And if anything pops up, I'm gonna go kill it. That would be my intention.
Okay. So seeing what happened to its P does this. And every time you're looking back to see if the fire's died down, After like a minute or so, it seems to be dying down with nothing else to catch fire, or it hasn't been able to catch anything else on fire. It does die down a little bit, but it's an oily rag that's still.
Not enough to. It's you can walk through it without getting hurt. Is what you're saying? It's just like a rag on the ground, or is it still?
Yeah, it's an oily rag on the ground with like embers.
Oh, okay.
However long it takes for a fire to go down, that's what happens. And the door over here is closed now. I don't, but it's
The one that the goblin tried to attack me with his burning bow.
yeah.
That door. Okay.
And you see your great axes over there. Do you pick them up?
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm gonna head in there to pick him up. Step over the burning rag. Step in here.
Okay.
Take them out of his. Take the one out of the dude's chest and then pick up the other one that's sorta on the ground.
Do I do this? Is this how it's gonna happen? As soon as you enter here, a volley of arrows flies in your direction from the east. If you look over there, you notice the number 7 and a bunch of goblins.
Mm-hmm.
Arrows are flying in your direction.
Well, I mean, I can't. Am I still my turn? So the arrows are reactions?
Yeah, like readied actions.
Well, did you roll all their damage?
Hold on, because you do have cover, debris, and it's a tight squeeze. And you have your shield, so technically you have like 21 cover right now, or 21 AC.
Mm-hmm.
So one arrow does manage to make it through, and it does 6 damage. And your shield has like 3 arrows in it, and the other arrows are have like hit like random debris or the walls. So you pick up your great sword, or no, you didn't get a chance because as soon as you walked in, you were fired upon, and you held your shield up. But it's still technically your turn. What do you do?
Man. What would my character do? I'm gonna have to end up. Is it? So it's a fresh turn for me, right?
Yeah, you just moved.
Okay. Where'd you put me? Oh, okay. I guess at this point I'm gonna have to. Can archers also have the when somebody moves away from them, they attack? Or is that just melee?
Yeah, they can use their short bow to do a melee, like whack you with it.
But I don't have to disengage to run. I can just.
Oh no, yeah, sorry. It's only a melee attack. If you're in melee range, you can only do
Okay.
opportunity attacks with melee attacks.
Okay, then that's what I'm doing. I'm booking it. I'm taking off 30 feet, whatever that is.
Gotcha. I like how you put Hodor in your name. Your name is just adding more titles.
That's it.
Vimak, Hodor, Wound Warrior.
Mm-hmm. All the battles I've experienced.
So at this point, I think it's a good time to call it, and then we'll see what happens. Time. Whew.